even back to Friday's decision over abortion, which many people would argue were ideologically driven, the science in that, rather than based on evidence-based medicine. Where's the leverage here? Where's the point where we get expertise leading the way in what you both describe are very key issues for the health of the country?
Well, I think of two things really to add on to Dean Williams, and I agree with what she said. I think there are issues of pressures that we cannot ignore and traction that we must start to gain. So the pressures that we cannot ignore really are those that are economic. You laid them out. I mean, if we have 1 out of 25 kids not surviving to age 40, if we have a falling life expectancy, the competitiveness, the economic engine that, as unequal as it is across the US, has managed to make us continue to be the wealthiest country on the world and able to spend $4 trillion on a system that's a healthcare system that's not giving it what it should back to society. Those pressures become more and more acute. It's a harbinger, but it's also here and now. We spend 20% of our GDP on healthcare, and it's only going up and up, and yet we're having falling life expectancy. That equation doesn't continue forever and ever. Those pressures become real. We have a working age population that's not healthy enough to really sustain us into this next decade. So we have that looming. And then the other part is traction, and it starts with local. It starts with understanding that the issue of life expectancy, whether people want to politicize it or not, has to do with your neighbors. It has to do with your family. It has to do with your community. If you see that 1 in 25 kindergartners isn't going to survive to age 40, if you see that working age people are dying and becoming disabled prematurely, that has no political stripe to it. And so you say, well, then what's the next part? The next thing that I say from observing and traveling the world and doing research on effective health and social systems is that these systems do not have a political stripe. They are some of the most free market systems, have guaranteed universal health coverage, as have systems that like to do more on the state side. And so if everyone basically has discovered that it's a good idea to invest in health, then to my earliest point that we started off with, let's not make this a contingent issue. Investing in people's health shouldn't be contingent until the moment that they drop in front of us and we take them to the ED. It should be something that we start to do upstream because it's smart for them, it's the right thing to do for the economy and the country, and it's the right thing to do for our families and our neighbors.